Welcome to episode 349 of the Design Details Podcast. I'm Brian Levin.
And I'm Marshall Bach. Welcome back for another episode. Brian, something different this week.
Yeah, we got to switch it up, right?
Yep.
Let's set some context. We're recording this on Sunday, May 31st, and we know about 50% of the people who listen to this podcast live in the U.S., and 50% live outside of the U.S., but I can only assume that at this point, everybody's kind of seen what's happening right now in the US on the news and even around the world in London and Berlin and other cities. You know, it seems like we reached a tipping point this week, really last week with the murder of George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really clear that police violence in the United States has gotten out of control and is not being held accountable for this loop that we're in, this loop of watching police officers kill unarmed, handcuffed men, women, and children, usually black, in broad daylight, and, you know, getting paid suspension and like not suffering any consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So the world is protesting, and we're now in the sixth night of, you know, what is spreading across the country. Most major cities are experiencing something right now. If you're in the at least the Twitter bubble we're in, Twitter is basically about this right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would say, you know, we're recording this on Sunday. We don't know what will have happened in the week that this comes out when this releases on Wednesday. We can only hope that things are starting to get better, but in case they're not, you know, we hope everyone is staying safe. If you are out and protesting, that you are staying safe and doing the best you can. So, okay, Marshall, shit's fucked.
Yeah.
And we didn't feel like it was a good week to record a normal podcast. Neither of us really felt, if we're reading the room correctly, I don't think anyone gives a shit.
I don't give a shit about pixels this week.
Yeah.
That's for fucking sure. Yeah, I can't imagine why anybody else would.
Nobody gives a shit. So I guess let's just say, you know, not a normal episode this week. We're not going to be reading out Patreon supporters, no follow-up, no news, nothing like that. We'll save all of that for next week, I hope. You know, we want to just kind of play this by ear and respect what's happening in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, thank you to everyone who is supporting the show. It felt like the smallest thing we can do here with the podcast we have and like the platform that exists here, however big it is to just point out what's happening in the world. And Marshall and I, at least, I don't think we're the right people to have the call to action, except to say, go learn, go read, talk to people, introspect, and, you know, we're not the experts here. So we're going to have today's show notes will be links to resources, people, organizations who are the experts that you should go and read, follow, learn from, donate to. So this month, we're just going to take all the Patreon revenue. Revenue is the wrong word here, like Patreon pledges. So we're going to be donating that along to organizations who need it, especially Black communities and Black organizations who are going to be hit the hardest from the fallout of these protests. So we're going to do that. We hope that you will consider doing the same thing. We're going to have links to some recommended organizations in the show notes. And, you know, things are happening in real time, so we'll edit the show notes as needed. But yeah, please read the show notes. Otherwise, you know, stay safe, go out and learn what you can and talk to people. And if you're racist, don't fucking listen to our show.
Yeah.
Should we say that?
No, I'm cool with that. Yeah. If this makes you not want to listen to our show,
later.
Bye.
There we go. There's some levity.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for listening. Please read the show notes. Please donate time, money, and your voice if you can. Tweet about it. Read the news. Follow what's going on. Talk to people. And yeah, I hope we catch you next week in a brighter version of this timeline. Hopefully things change and we see some fucking leadership in the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Stay safe.
We'll see you next week.